Hello friends, do you love tea and natural wellness products as much as I do? I've partnered with Positively Tea and Positively Botanicals, and I can honestly say I drink their organic loose leaf tea almost every day, and I love it. From organic teas to natural remedies, they offer high-quality products that support a healthy, mindful lifestyle. When you shop through my affiliate link, you not only discover amazing products for yourself, but you also help support the podcast. Visit the link in the show notes to explore their selections today. And for you coffee lovers, they have you covered as well. Treat yourself, support the show, and keep connecting with the natural world. Good day, friends, and welcome back to the Forest Connection. I'm Paul, and this is your space to slow down, reconnect, and rediscover how the natural world can heal us. Now, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. It is a beautiful day here at Chestnut Ridge Park. I was actually at another park yesterday, and it was kind of interesting. It was pretty busy. There were a couple of buses there when I pulled in the parking lot of the park. And as I was pulling in, the buses were unloading all these city kids. Looked like elementary school kids, so pretty young. They were just fascinated because they were, like I said, they were city kids. I know that because I talked to one of the teachers. I ran into the group on the trail, and I was talking to the teacher and asked her where they were from. They're from the city of Buffalo. So these kids, one kid was scared to death to be out there. He had never been out in nature. And I kind of get it. I get scared when I go into the city. So it's like, this is my element where I am right now. That's not their element. Just like the city is not my element and it's theirs, so they feel more comfortable in the city. So I understand it, but I always encourage people to get out in nature more. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this because, well, there's a difference between being in nature and being with nature. And you may have caught me many times before using the term with nature. I'm going out to be with nature instead of saying I'm going out to be in nature, or I'm out here in nature. No, I'm out here with nature. Sometimes I'm in nature. Well, pretty much all the time that I go in nature, I'm in nature. But a lot of the times I'm with nature, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, is the difference. So, as I was saying, I was at a different park yesterday, and pretty busy. I ran into a group of high school students with their teacher. There were 6 students, There were 6 students with this teacher. And the teacher was kind of in the middle of the group. He had 4 boys in front of him, 2 high school boys walking behind him. And they're walking down one of the roads in the park. And it's like all 4 boys in the front have their heads down, facing their phone, and their fingers are going crazy on their phone. I don't know if they were playing games. I don't know if they were texting. I don't know what they were doing. I don't really care. But the 2 kids behind this teacher, who, by the way, the teacher is looking around, discovering, checking things out. But the 2 students behind the teacher, same thing on their phones. Yep, they're just going on their phones. And it's just, I just wanted to stop them and say, hey, look around. What do you see? What's out here? Those kids were in nature. They were not with nature. And I'll explain the difference in a minute here. But they were distracted from what they were experiencing in nature. And I see that all the time. I ran into a friend of mine while I was at that park yesterday also. And we were walking along the trail and we saw this hole in a tree, and there was a little figurine in there, a small fairy inside the hole. And I've come across fairy doors in the woods at different parks before. I've come across different, objects in the woods before. And it kind of brought up a conversation between my friend and I about people leaving stuff in the woods. And we both are kind of on the same track with this. He would prefer to see none of the stuff in the woods. I mean, I personally do geocaching. I do orienteering. I've done letterboxing before. All these things that get me out in the woods, treasure hunting and doing activities out in the woods. And these things draw people out into the woods. And that's what I like about them. But my friend, he kind of agrees with that too. Any way you can get people out in nature is great. But he also sees the other side of it. We're disturbing the natural environment. Do these things belong here in nature? No, they don't. So what is the line here? I don't know. I enjoy seeing people out in nature, but I also want them to start appreciating where they are. I know my wife and I go through this all the time, where we're walking through the woods and just enjoying the day, enjoying everything out there, and all of a sudden, someone walks by or a jogger comes by, they got their earbuds in. I've been where there's ladies or guys with their phones playing music, no earbuds, just playing music so that everyone can hear, including me, disturbing my peace. And I always say something to my wife about it. And usually when I say something to my wife about this, it's like, why don't those people just take their earbuds out and enjoy what's around them? And she usually has the same response. Hey, at least they're out in nature. And I agree, I agree totally. If they're out in nature, that's good. But these people need to go one step further. I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm just going out in nature. There's times where I'm recording a podcast episode, and I'm just walking through the woods, just concentrating on my podcast. A lot of times, though, I'm kind of double tasking. I am not just recording the podcast, but I'm also enjoying what's around me. I'm not staring at the ground. I'm often looking up in the trees. I'm often looking around me. I'm always, exploring and absorbing what's around me. There's been a lot of times where I've edited parts out of podcasts because there's a big, huge pause because something caught my attention. And I just want to absorb that, get that in. So that's what I'm doing today, is I'm being with nature. And that's what being with nature is all about. Not just going out in the woods and walking around or looking around, or, even people who are out geocaching, letterboxing, doing these activities out in nature, they are not getting the full benefits of it. Are they getting some benefits? I've talked about this before. Anytime you spend in the woods, you can spend 15 minutes in the woods, and they have done scientific studies that prove that even that little amount of time in the woods is beneficial for your health. It's beneficial for you, both physically and mentally. A lot of people always think, oh yeah, being in the woods, it always makes me calm. It slows me down. It makes me feel better mentally. But you know what? It's not just the mental aspect of it. It's also the physical aspect of it. So if you are in nature, you're getting health benefits. Even that jogger, they're getting great health benefits because they're jogging, they're building up their muscles, they're, getting their bodies fit and trim. And maybe their minds. Exercise is good for the mind also. they're getting more benefits than someone who's just aimlessly going through the woods talking with a friend the whole time. Okay, that's not getting the full benefits of being out in nature. Whereas someone who is going slow, not rushing, not trying to get miles in, not running, just taking it all in, stopping once in a while like I do all the time when I'm passing by a tree. A lot of times I'll touch the tree. I'll say hello to the tree. This is a nice big old tree I'm touching right now. And so those people like me who are actually looking around, absorbing, not talking, not being distracted, not worrying about the news that you heard this morning, what our country is doing, what's going on in the world, the wars, no. All that gets blocked out and pushed away, pushed aside for this little bit of time that you're here to spend with nature. And so those people who are connecting more with the natural world, we're reaping more benefits. Like I said, the people who are out in the woods, not connecting, they're getting benefits too, but not as many as those of us who are connecting. So when you connect with nature, you're actually absorbing more. And it's actually a really easy thing to do, connecting with nature. I mean, I talk about it every week, whether it's in the Nature Wander or the Forest Connection, we're talking about connecting, it seems. With the Nature Wander, I know we don't talk as much, but when we start talking about different aspects of nature, that's part of connecting. But I'm always encouraging people, get out and connect with the natural world. So start getting out and being with nature, not just in nature. So how do you connect? Well, there's so many different ways to connect with the natural world. I mean, going for a walk, going for a hike, running along a trail, going kayaking, snowshoeing, whatever activities you like to do outdoors in nature, playing sports. Oh, I get kids all the time, youth, I should say, usually the teenagers and all. When I mention it, it's like, yeah, when was the last time you got outside and got away from the video games? It's like, oh yeah, well I play football, so I'm out there all the time. Oh, I play soccer, I'm outside all the time. But are you really connecting with nature when you're doing that? No, you're connecting with your sport. And that's okay. I'm not bashing that. That's fine too. But you're going to reap more benefits if you're actually connecting with the natural world. So these things are ways to get out in nature. But when you take those things and you go one more step, and you actually stop, you slow down. I talk about it all the time. That's what these podcasts are about, is taking some time to slow down and absorb what's around you. Just stop once in a while along a walk. You don't have to be moving all the time. That's why I like coming out alone a lot of times. I don't feel guilty for stopping somewhere for a half an hour. I don't feel guilty about not moving, not talking. I just can sit there and absorb and enjoy. Right now I'm actually standing in the middle of a creek. I know it sounds strange, but it's running kind of slow, not too bad, and it's got a lot of slate on the bottom. So I'm standing on the slate bottom, being careful where I step, but I'm just watching the water just stream by slowly. It's not a really deep creek. I mean, the deepest point is maybe an inch at where I am at. And it's just flowing by, and I'm watching, I'm listening to it. There's a slight breeze today. I've got the sunlight. There's hardly any clouds. It's a gorgeous day out here. And the sun is just beating through the trees. Yep, beating on my face, warming me up. And I'm just noticing what's around me. What I like to do when I'm doing this, and I've talked about this with sit spots too, that's kind of the same thing, connecting with nature. But I always like to, when I stop, to find something that I didn't notice before. I like to look in all directions. I know some people when they're walking, they're just looking straight ahead. They're never looking around them. I've noticed other people who just look down all the time because they don't want to trip on anything. Yet I've seen other people who are always looking up, and they run into trees and stuff. I've done that before. I like to look all around. And I'm going to look at the trees up above. I'm going to see how the light is coming through the trees. I'm going to listen for the bird sounds. I'm going to notice how things feel. Always be careful what you touch. I noticed here that there's some trillium coming up. There's some May-apples. There's some baby trees coming out of the ground. One of my favorite, the tulip tree. So there's so many different things coming up here. Oh, there's some Jack in the Pulpit. If you can't tell, I left the creek. We have some ferns here. I'm looking at the trees, I'm touching them, and I start thinking, how do the trees feel? What are they doing right now? I mean, the branches are just swaying. They had a long winter this year. But the leaves are out on the tree pretty full. I don't see any buds anymore, no bare trees. All the trees are pretty solidly full. But they went through a hard winter. I wonder if they're excited now that they now can spread those leaves, absorb that sunlight that's coming into the woods. The plants on the forest floor, how do they feel getting this sunlight? You know, I mean, they grab that sunlight before the leaves come out on the trees and it all gets blocked out by the trees. So how do they feel? And this is what I like to look for. This is what I like to absorb and feel. There's a tree that died. It's laying on the ground, but it's still helping to support other life. I'm actually feeling the moss on the tree. I'm not thinking about anything else. It's just the moss and how it feels, how it looks, the different shades of green in it. All of these things help me slow down. It helps me to be one with the natural world, to be part of nature. Often we forget that we are part of the natural world, that we belong in the natural world. We always think of ourselves as being dominant over nature. We mow our lawns. Yeah, we cut down trees if they're in our way to clear a path. We shoo the birds away that we don't like. We pull up weeds. We pull up plants we don't know what they are. We kill insects that are in our home. You know, we always seem to want to dominate over nature because we've forgotten that we are part of nature. And that's why it's so important to start being with nature instead of just in nature. And it's really a simple thing for people to do if they just try. It doesn't take a lot of effort. You know, you just want to keep walking down that trail, see if you can make it a mile as quick as you can. Get your 3 miles for the hiking challenge. But you'll find that you miss a lot when you do that. Maybe you just want to go out with your friends after work and just get out in nature and and just be out there and talk about all your issues. And, you know, it's very therapeutic to do that. Yes, but it's more therapeutic if you walk with your friend in silence. Yeah, just walk quietly and let nature absorb it. I mean, nature is great for healing, both physical and mental. I know I come out once in a while when I find myself getting stressed. I'll come out in nature and I'll actually talk to the trees. I'll be out here alone and I'll talk to the trees about my issues. And I'll let them absorb it and get rid of it. Get rid of those problems that have been stressing me out. Getting rid of the issues that have been bothering me. I let the trees and nature absorb it and take it away. So it is very healing. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is very healing. So what do? I know I keep getting sidetracked and explain it more, but simple. It's really simple. Get out there in nature and slow down. After you're in the woods, after you're in nature, slow down. Don't be in a rush. Don't try to get in so many miles. Don't try to get somewhere. I mean, if you only have half an hour to do this, I suggest you try it another day. Okay? You want to start out where you can actually have time and you don't feel like, oh, I got to watch my watch. I got to make sure I get back to work before lunch break is over. No, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you can just take your time and absorb what's around you. So maybe you want to sit on a tree stump or a log and look around you, or maybe you just want to walk slowly, which is what I'm doing today. As I said, I'm just going to connect with nature. I'm going to be out here and walk slowly. So I'm here listening to the woodpeckers call. There aren't a lot of birds out right now because it's later in the day. I love doing this early in the morning. But, oh, now the squirrels. Yeah, we've got a lot of activity. A lot of people have missed that because they're not being with nature, they're being in nature. So here's a challenge for you. Get outdoors, take your time, slow down. Maybe stop once in a while and look around. I'm not talking about just in one direction. Don't just look forward. But you have to do that once in a while to make sure you're not tripping over any tree roots or anything in the trail. So look around, look down, look up, stop once in a while and just look up, look through the leaves. Move while you're looking through the leaves very slowly. I don't want you tripping on anything. And see how the light comes through the leaves differently. And then look down at the ground and look at the shadows. Go up and touch a tree. Yeah? Oh, I've got a tree right here, one of our evergreens, and I'm just going to touch it. Don't try to name them. Okay, I know what type of evergreen that is, but I'm not going to say because I don't care. No, I want to experience the tree, not the name of the tree. It doesn't matter what tree it is. It could be some new tree that you have never seen before, that you don't know. And that's part of the excitement. So this is what I want you to do, is I want you to try to get out there and slow down. That's the first step to connecting with nature, is to get out there and slow down and start observing more. After you start noticing more, okay, then you can take it a little bit further. And you can start seeing, okay, what didn't I notice before? What's new out there? Start looking at things closer. Start observing more and more every time you're out in the woods. Make sure you use all your senses, your hearing, your sense of smell. I always love picking up the odors in springtime. So start noticing some of the different smells. Start noticing the sounds. Start noticing the touch. Not just touching trees, not just touching the moss. Be very careful when you do those things, because I mean, there are some plants out there that can irritate, that can be poisonous, and you want to avoid those. Stop once in a while and just touch some things, but also touch the wind, touch the sun. And you probably are like, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is feel the warmth, the changes in temperatures. No talking necessary. I mean, I'm talking just because it would be a pretty boring episode if you were just sitting there in silence with me. I'm sure you would have shut it off after the first couple of minutes. But yeah, no talking. Just listen. But you can start talking to the trees. Hello, tree. Oh, looks like you had a rough winter. You're leaning a little bit. Are you still... Yeah, you're still doing all right, though. Yes, I see lots of leaves up there. You still got plenty of roots down. Looks like your friend here caught you before you went totally to the ground. So it's nice to see you're still standing. So just talk to the trees. That's fine, too. So the more you do this, the more you're going to find that you're going out with nature. Does that mean you should stop being in nature? No. Never stop being in nature. Every chance you get, I always tell people, hey, did you spend your day outdoors at least for a little while? Yeah, so always try to be in nature. But now you can take that one step further and start being with nature. Ditch the earbuds once in a while. Ditch the challenges of trying to get somewhere by a certain time. Get rid of the challenge of trying to, okay, I want to get a mile hike in today. Stop doing that and start connecting with what's around you. And you're going to find it gets easier and easier every time that you do this. Now, another thing that you can do to help you start connecting better is start comparing. Start comparing like one area. Stop for a little while. Look around. How do you feel? How does the temperature feel? What are the colors? What are the shadows like in the woods? What's the sunlight feel like? What's the wind feel like? Yeah. What type of trees are here? Remember, don't try to name them. Just try to see how many different types there are. And after you've done all this and you've discovered a lot of new things, move along. Go maybe, 50 feet up the trail and stop again. And notice if there's anything different. Is this woods more open? Is this woods have more species of trees in it? Is the sunlight different, the way it's dancing through the leaves? What is different about this area? And then go on to another area. Go maybe another, 50 feet up the trail and see what it's like there. And keep doing this until you get out of the woods again. And notice the differences. Maybe you didn't notice on your way in, which I'm noticing right now. I didn't even notice this tree on the way in. But on the way out here, I noticed I have a beech tree here, and there's 3 branches that have nice, beautiful green leaves. It's not a really tall beech tree. It's only about 15 feet tall, and there's 3-4 big branches that have a lot of green leaves on, and then there's 2 branches that have all brown leaves, curled up. So something happened to these branches. I don't see any breaks on it. But as I'm looking closer, I actually see an insect on it. Oh, I see some new growth coming off of the one lower branch that's dead, right up at the trunk of the tree. So it's trying to keep going. Yeah, and I would have missed all that if I was just hiking in the woods. So instead, I'm hiking with the woods. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and this is after you've done this several times and you've gotten used to understanding the difference between being in nature and with nature, is being with nature, being with the woods, being with a a forest, a trail going through the meadow, being with the beach, being with whatever area you're in, okay? I should say whatever area you're with. I want you to let it decide how you're going to be with it. I know it sounds strange, but let the woods lead you. Don't have a goal. Oh, I'm mapping out this trail and that trail. I had no clue where I was going today. Okay, I just drove into the park here, and all of a sudden it's like, this looks like a good parking spot. And I parked there. And I saw a trail across the way. I mean, I know this park really well. I didn't know what trail I was going to be on. I know I want to be on a trail with very few hikers. I've only seen 2 people the whole time that I've been in here, and 1 little dog with them. On a leash, thank you, people. And I knew that, but I didn't know exactly where I want to be. I kind of let the nature lead me, to draw me in. So I have, right now, I have an area where there's a lot of mud and all that I want to get around, but this is the way nature led me. It led me to that bird that's calling. Actually, that bird sounds pretty interesting, so I'm going to head towards it. So this is what I'm talking about. Let it lead you. Make sure you stay on the trails, unless you're familiar with the area. But try to stay on the trails. You don't want to get lost out in the woods. But let different things draw you in. Maybe there's an area that looks interesting. It's like, oh, I want to explore that more. Go over there and explore it. Be with it. Let nature talk to you. Let the trees guide you. Let the water guide you. Let the sounds guide you. Let all of these things guide you to where you want to be. Now, my challenge for you this week is to start being with nature. Next time you decide you have a little time, you want to get out and be in nature, great, do it. But slow down when you get there. Slow down and start noticing more. Start listening more. Start observing more. Don't wander quickly. Wander slowly. And start getting the width in your nature instead of just the in. And start doing this as often as you can. Start getting out there more and more every single week, every single month. Yeah, just start getting out more and start being with nature. Thanks for spending this time with me in the forest today. If this moment brought you a little calm or clarity, feel free to carry it with you as you move back into your day. And please like and share this episode with others that you feel could use this healing as well. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and I'll meet you again amongst the forest. Hello friends, I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings. Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through the Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure.